Protesters at UCLA stop students from attending classes. Oh yeah, this has been crazy. This has been just absolutely nuts. So I actually saw, like, there's a lot of articles about this and videos entitled Protesters. I'll go ahead and I'll watch it. Here we go.
Not even a political thing. It's just trying to go to class.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to class, man.
Yeah.
You have to go around. Through this bridge.
Yeah, no.
Because the thing is, even if once you exit the encampment, there's security there, they won't let you go further. It's not just us that have blocked things off.
I'd rather hear that from security.
You can go ask them.
You can go take that bridge and you take another one. You can go ask them up there.
I mean, that's not the point.
You can't get out basically from the other side, so.
I don't need to get out. My class is up there on the quad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens whenever you don't have the police that do something about it. That's the problem. And so, like, this is the reason. And so, like, what's going to happen in this situation? Eventually, somebody is going to go and push somebody down. Somebody's going to fall on that pavement and hurt themselves. Whether this is a protester or a counter-protester, somebody's going to get hurt. And this is why you need to have police. See, like, everybody thinks that police are just there to stop, robberies and stuff. But the police are the ones that are supposed to resolve stuff like this. That way people don't feel like they have to. Because if these guys knew that the police were just going to come and get rid of these people, well, then they'd have no problem. But the issue is that whenever they do this, how do you resolve this? I go to UCLA. It's just annoying now because most of my classes are online. UCLA is so open. Blocking these pathways are meaningless because I can just find a different way into class. Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. Like, just because somebody can find a different way doesn't really mean that that's okay. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. Blocking people from classes is a sure way to, if classes are paying tens of thousands of dollars for, yeah. Don't worry about that. Police is already acting as we speak on Columbia. Yeah. Let me see. Are there any more posts about this? No. Oh, here's one more. Okay, and then I'll look at some of the other posts here. Jewish UCLA student is blocked from entering his own school when he tries to attend class. Uh-oh.
You guys have closed the entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm
there he is.
Blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student. I deserve to go here. We pay tuition. This is our school. And they're not letting me walk in. My class is over there. I want to use that entrance. Why can't they go? Will you let me go in? This can be over in a second. Just let me and my friends go in.
Yeah.
We're not engaging in that.
Then you can move. Will you move?
We're not engaging in that.
Okay, we're going. We're going. I'm going in. I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them. I'm not hurting them. That's what they do. That's what they do, everybody. You guys are promoting aggression. You guys are promoting hate. We're UCLA students. We deserve to be there. Let's go.
I don't think it has anything to do with him being a Jew. I mean, to be honest, he's obviously Jewish. He's got the thing right there. I think they're just blocking everybody off, to be fair. But, this is why you have the police. That's it. Violence is not the answer. You're right. But here's the thing, is that this will eventually happen to somebody, and then somebody will punch one of the protesters, and then there'll be a fight. That's what's going to happen, because that's what happens every time in a situation like this. And that's why, again, you need to have the police. Because if you don't have the police, then people take justice into their own hands. That's what happens. Violence is definitely an answer. Well, for a lot of people, it would be. It's like they're going to look at it from, you are, physically impeding me, so I'm going to have to physically overpower you because you have initiated physical aggression. Like, I think that the idea that the only way you can be physically aggressive is if you are, like, violent. That's not really true. Like, if you're impeding somebody's movement, if you're trying to like impose yourself over them, if you're trying to like, like control them, like grab them, there's a lot of ways that you can be violent without necessarily punching somebody. And I do think that this is a method of violence. It definitely is. And, if you do something like this, it's just a matter of time till somebody gets pissed off and hits you. That's really the truth. You don't get to be a vigilante? Well, yeah, exactly. And that's what the problem is that you don't need vigilantes whenever you have police. Because the police are there to take the responsibility off of the people from administering the law. That's really what I would say. No, if police were there, would be people like playing Rust. 6'4", 300 pounds, I'd walk right through these people. Yeah, of course you would. And then they would get hurt. And then they would try to attack you. And then you would attack them. And then somebody is like, because like if you're 6'4", 300 pounds and you hit one of these girls, they're going to be fucked up. Like, let's be honest. They're going to be massively fucked up. And then now this is a big problem. And I'm not even saying I'm not even saying you're wrong for doing that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that it escalates to a point where nobody wants it to be at. That's the perspective, right? Assault charge, yeah. And so are we able to get a police officer and explain why there is an officer on duty to stop these barricades into the school? I think the reason why is that this is private property and the school hasn't... so this is, I don't know this, right? But like, I'm making a guess. My guess is that the school thinks that they can effectively ignore this and they don't want to have a larger controversy. So because this school is private property, the police, for example, like if you're blocking somebody at a Walmart, the person who you're calling to solve that problem, the person who calls to solve that problem is is the people that work at the Walmart. It's public? Well, it is and it's not, right? So like it's open to the public, but at the same time, private individuals own this. And generally, like for example, if there's an altercation at a Walmart and two people aren't getting along, the person who's really going to resolve this is probably going to be people that own the Walmart. And they're the ones that call the police. So I think it's really the school isn't calling the police to resolve this, because they don't want to have a bigger issue on their hand. So that's what I'm assuming probably happened. So, and I assume also, like, if they call the police would easily get rid of this. It would be over in like 30 seconds. But they're not doing that. If the school didn't call them, then nothing can be done. Yeah, exactly. The school just hasn't dealt with that. Why do you think this video isn't about anti-Semitism? Because in a lot of the other videos, they were blocking other people too. So if the common denominator isn't Jews, then it's probably not about Jews, right? So, and also, like, I mean, maybe it is, but you can't narrow it down. Like, for example, like, it seems like nobody else is getting through either. This guy obviously is Jewish, and so that's, kind of like an insult to injury, but I don't think that's the fundamental reason why. It's not like they specifically disallowed him because he was a Jew. They're just disallowing everybody. So yeah, if that makes sense. No, yeah, they're just being assholes, right? I mean, yeah. I'm saying like, yeah, and they might be anti-Semitic too, but this isn't really an evidence of it. So yeah, but they don't have the right to block anyone though? Exactly, yeah. No, you're totally right. That's why I'm saying they're assholes, but I don't think it's necessarily being anti-Semitic. How does stopping people from getting from school help their cause? Well, it doesn't. And I think that everybody knows that. And really, like, I do think this is, like, super counterproductive. People are going to see this, and they look at these people, and these people don't look like the good guys. They do not look like the good guys. Whenever people are trying to go to a college class and, like, they just decided to wall off an area and not let people get through, yeah, they don't. Like... Yeah, it's just that simple. Wow, this really went super viral. Look at this. This is just a post on my Reddit, and it has 12,000 updates. It's crazy that so many people are reporting this for seemingly no reason. People love to group identity politics. We're going to hold you accountable and treat you like shit. Why is this even allowed? It's not a protest. Yeah, these people don't know when their rights stop and approaches across other people's rights. Least anti-Semitic protesters. Why are people allowed to harass others for their religion, not be immediately expelled from the university? because the universities support it. I don't think the universities support it. I think they're afraid of not condemning it. Or sorry, they're afraid of condemning it. So it's not that they support it, they're just afraid of repercussions if they say that it's bad. Americans are so hilarious. True, true, true. This is nuts. You're paying $100K to attend to college, and these clowns are prohibiting you from going to class. Yeah, everybody is against this. I guess so. So they have no issues condemning Christians? Yeah, well, I mean, the reason why is that, like, it's not seen as discriminatory condemning Christians versus Muslims because it's a Christian country, so it's like we're condemning our own people and it's not seen as like othering them. I'm not justifying it, I'm just explaining it, by the way. I'm not saying, oh, this is true, but yeah, I think that's the reason. Your sub is very pro-Israeli too, keep that in mind. You think my sub's pro-Israel? I don't know if they are or not. You know, to me, I think it's important that people can talk about things and just have an open conversation. I think that most of the people in my subreddit probably are more like, we don't really give a fuck. Stop ruining everything else in the process of your protest, right? That's really the way I would say it. I think that's what most people think, because that's what I think, right? And so it would make sense that people would have the same viewpoint that I do. Most liberty-minded people are. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, anyway, so there's been a lot of crazy shit going on here. Let me see if I can find this. So Columbia University, looks like they kind of had enough. They had enough of this shit. And so here we go. Let's take a look at it. And let me make sure I get caught up here. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm all caught up. And we go all the way down. Okay. Yep, alright, here we go. Oh, that's loud. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest this close. We will not stop, we will not rest. They did stop, by the way. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got arrested. But, you know, this is before that happened. Jesus, look how dirty that is. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! So there it is, right? Obviously, they're upset. Protesters compare NYPD to the KKK as corrections buses are brought in. Uh-oh. Yep. Uh-oh, there's the police bus. Should have been a short bus. Man. They're going on a field trip. Yep. They're just like the KKK. Isn't it great that we have a bunch of privileged white people going to one of the best universities in the world, that's at least the best university in the country, one of them, that are talking about how police officers are like the Ku Klux Klan? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's the same thing, guys. Oh my god. It's like, I hear that and like, to me that sounds a lot like privilege. That's just what I think.
This is what you do with your life. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
Shame.
What? To be fair, I'm sure that a lot of the protesters are probably leading by example. Most of them probably don't have a job. Mm-hmm. Yep. Get a job. Yeah, so there it is. And let's see here. Reporter grills Columbia student after she demands the university help feed protesters occupying Hamilton Hall.
Why should the university be obligated to provide food to people who've taken over a building?
Well, first of all, we're saying that they're obligated to provide food to students who pay for a meal plan here.
But you mentioned that there was a request that food and water be brought in, unless I misunderstood.
To allow it to be brought in. I mean, well, I guess it's ultimately a question of what kind of community and obligation Columbia feels it has to its students. Do you want students to die of dehydration?
Yeah. That's obviously why. Yeah, that's clearly the reason.
And starvation or get severely ill, even if they disagree with you, if the answer is...
I'm sure that's what Columbia wants to do. That's their end goal is to kill their students. Of course, she figured it out, guys.
No, then you should allow basic... I mean, it's crazy to say because we're on an Ivy League campus, but this is like basic humanitarian aid we're asking for. Like, could people please have a glass of water?
Bro, they actually act like they're in Palestine. It's like a cosplay convention. Instead of dressing up like furries, they're pretending to be in a war zone. They're LARPing, yeah.
But they did put themselves in that very deliberately, in that situation and in that position. So it seems like you're sort of saying, we want to be revolutionaries, we want to take over this building, now would you please bring us food and water? And
Nobody's asking them to bring anything. We're asking them to not violently stop us from bringing in basic humanitarian aid.
They're stopping the delivery of food?
We are looking for a commitment from them that they will not stop it
But
violently.
they haven't stopped it yet.
Well, I don't know to what extent it has been attempted, but we're looking for a commitment.
and the Grubhub
Yeah, I think they're in a pretty bad position. Like, Columbia can't do that because if Columbia does that, then they're acknowledging and allowing those people to be in the building in that way. And if a fire starts and people get hurt, then they can sue Columbia because Columbia enabled people to do that outside of the context of what they're supposed to do with safety regulations. So it's liability, yeah. Like, it's just, again, this is a person going to an Ivy League school. Just think about it for like 5 seconds here. It should be expelled from the school. Yeah, but like, Columbia's been cleared. Yeah, the police completely wrecked them about an hour ago. No, I'll go through everything. The risk manager is probably stressing. Yeah. I mean, it's just that I think these people have like, super, super, super main character syndrome, right? And so they're not really going to be thinking about it in the context of anything other than, am I getting what I want or not? Police prepare to enter Hamilton Hall at Columbia. Protesters boo them. Uh-oh, here we go. There it is. That's a lot of reeing. Yep. Uh-oh. There it is. What the fuck is the brain of these people? Well, I mean, like, they're, the majority of people that, what do you call it? The majority of people that do this, these are people that live, massively sheltered, extremely safe lives. And I think that a lot of them have, like, some sort of, like, internalized guilt for that. Because it's like, we live in this amazing, perfect world, and I think they probably feel guilty for the fact that that's the case whenever there are people in Palestine and it's like they're not having a good time. Like, I've seen the pictures, like, they're really not, because they're like getting killed. But, people in America have to figure out some sort of way to make it about themselves. I understand why the university saw the takeover of Hamilton Hall as an escalation. My concern is whenever you bring the police in, there are unintended consequences. Uh-oh, here we go.
Well, I'm terribly concerned, and I'm very sad. I understand why the university saw the takeover of Hamilton Hall as an escalation.
Well, it's just against the law, and you can't just take over a random building because some people aren't doing what you want. I mean, like, there's really not. I guarantee you, if people were taking over the CNN building, this person would be saying it's an attack on free speech and democracy, and, you know, like, the police need to be holding these people accountable. We need to see their names. Look, yeah, I mean, this is just he doesn't really believe that, right? The moment that this happened to him or something he believed in or his house or something he had value in, this would just immediately disappear.
I look forward to learning why they decided to move now. The building was taken over earlier today. Let's make clear to everybody, freedom of speech does not include vandalism. It does not protect you if you take a building or occupy a building. So this is not what the students engaged in. The demonstrators was not.
Well, if they didn't engage in taking over a building, then why aren't the police officers coming in from the main door? Because that, see, like, to me, like, I mean, what is this, Anne Orlando? What are we doing?
The exercise of their First Amendment rights today. They escalated the situation. My concern, however, is that when you bring the police in, there are unintended consequences, I'm sure, and I worry about.
He's right. He is definitely right. And the protesters should have thought about that before they decided to break the law. Yep, you're right. That's why you don't break the law. True.
Students getting hurt, not deliberately by the police, but things can happen.
Well, they wouldn't. The reason why they're getting hurt by the police is because they're in a place that they don't need to be in and they're breaking the law. Here's a really good bit of advice for how to avoid being hurt by the police. Don't break the law. That is going to really, that's going to take the probability of you getting hurt by the police down by a huge amount, guys. Like a massive, 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 huge amount. And it's really not that hard.
And it's very difficult to control a situation like this. John Miller will know better than me. But I worry about the health of my students. And I worry about the health of students who've made mistakes. I am was saddened by the escalation that the student demonstrators engaged in today.
Big mistake.
It really was unjustified.
It was.
Regardless of the moral outrage one should have about the effect on civilians in Gaza, that is not a justification.
He's right.
For engaging in violent acts here in New York City.
True.
What has happened today is terribly worrying. And what we're watching now,
I don't think it's worrying at all. This is the way it's supposed to be. There's always been shit like this happening. Like every 10, 15 years, there's something like this that happens. Whether it's the LA riots, Occupy Wall Street, this, BLM riots. Like, look, I mean, this happens all the time. I mean, it's basically like the country turns into a PvP server like about once every 15 years. And it seems like it's happening more often. Every 4 years, yeah, things are going to be even more often.
Because of the unexpected and the role of accident could turn out very badly. So I worry about the health and safety of the students and of the police, too.
I worry about the police. Yeah, I don't care about the students. They're breaking the law. Fuck them. It's the police officers. They're the ones that have to deal with this shit. NYPD correction bushes push through crowd. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I remember I did this in Call of Duty. Oh, here we go. was that Will Ferrell from Saturday Night Live needs more cowbell? Like, what is it? Why would you? What's that gonna do? Oh yeah. Beat a pot for Palestine. Bring out the riot cowbells. This is a revolutionary pan. There it is. Yep. That pan will go down in history? I bet it will. Oh, there they go. That's a lot of police officers. Holy shit. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Even more of them. There it is. Yeah. That's crazy. It's actually Anne Orlando. Like, I mean, how did this happen? Oh my god. Police are now occupying the building. Who kicks them out? I don't know. Yeah, and arrests are made. Oh, here we go. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Man, get fucked. I know. They're getting tased? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yep. Chain lightning. 100% self-inflicted. Jesus. My leg, yeah. They're still LARPing. Yeah, it's Dark Souls. He's rolling. Oh my god.
Careful, careful.
The LARPing will continue? I have a feeling it won't. Yeah. It's content of the month? I know. Man. Is this pure LARP? Yeah, I mean, not anymore.
We're credentialed press.
Uh-oh. It's a raid wipe? Yeah. They got cleared out, bro. Man. Bro, they are busting the fuck in there. Holy shit. I love how, like, what's really funny to me about this is the fact that, like, anybody who's played Grand Theft Auto knows that you can't just, it's not like the cops, like, after you shoot 10 cops or you get rid of 20 cops, they're gonna stop coming. There's just gonna be more and more cops until they get you. Like, that's the way every game works. It's the same as, like, in Cyberpunk. Like, eventually they're just gonna send in max tac and they're gonna get you. And if you kill one of them, then they're gonna bring in another one. And then it's gonna be another one after that. It's like you're just eventually gonna lose. Like, what's this? But they didn't shoot cops? No, they didn't. But they're breaking the law and the cops didn't shoot them either. Nobody's getting shot. At least as far as I know. Yeah. They definitely got the 5-star status. There's so much destroyed property. Such a shame. Well, I mean, that's what happens. And the thing is that the university should be to blame for this. I do. I think it's the university's fault because The university should have been much more proactive in this. They should have stopped this way faster and way earlier. They should have shut this down like a while ago. Like, because it's really not the police's fault, because it's really, I mean, like, it's a public, it's a public school. You can go on to school, but like, it's really the university that sets the rules there for the most part, right? Unless, criminal acts are being taken. But in terms of like blocking other people or anything like that, that's really up to the purview of the university, not the police for the most part. So the police, like, they're waiting on the call. And the university should have called a lot fucking earlier, and none of this shit would have happened. Yeah, let's be honest. Even if they are breaking the law, they're not doing it in a harmful and endangering way. That's not the way to treat people. Oh, I absolutely think it is. I totally support the police. They're doing the exact thing I think they should. This is what my taxes are supposed to be going towards. I don't want to see a bunch of clowns go and get in front of a building because they think that they can and bully everybody else. They can't go in the building. That's insane. No, of course you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Nobody thinks this, and you don't either. The moment this happened to something that you were involved with, if this happened to your house, you'd be freaking out. You'd be wanting the police to come here too. Like, look at January 6th. Look at any of the other cases, like the Charlottesville rally. No, this is not a principled stance that anybody has. The moment that this stuff affects them in a way they don't like, they immediately flip the script. Nobody believes this stuff is good. Look at those taxes. Beautiful. Yep, there it is. That's our taxes at work, boys. Yeah. What's this here? How is this even close to the same? Well, it's really simple. Don't break the law. Don't block places off. If people tell you to disperse and the police tell you to disperse because you're, the people that own the property want you to leave and you don't leave, then the police should come and arrest you and put you in jail. It's really simple. It's such a simple concept. And it's sad because this is an Ivy League school. These are people that are supposed to be smart. And they don't even understand a basic concept like this. Yeah. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, brainwash. Yeah, it's disturbing. And okay, here we go. Here's some more of it. Fraternity brothers help police tear down the Gaza camp. Wait a second. Really? Oh my God, where is this? Can I see this?
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the best ways that you can support us here at Human
where
Events
is this?
What we want to avoid, say about left
necessarily.
Look at these. Right.
Uh-oh.
We've got the white frat boys throwing away protesters' belongings, and we've got the pigs and brown
just
doing
throwing
nothing
their
about
shit
it,
away.
Although we are being forced off campus. Pigs and brown.
Oh my God. Yep, there it is. Narcissistic performative activism? Yeah, something like that.
Here is video shot only moments ago by our very own cameras. Now, you see these agitators were arrested only moments ago. Again, we're told, Lexus just told us, there have been dozens of arrests tonight. And here with more reaction to what's going on in the situation in New York on the campus of Columbia University. What does it mean politically for Joe Biden, who has been virtually silent on most of this? Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt, former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee is with us. Here is video shot only moments.
Yep, there it is.
As you can see, one officer is in. A second officer now is climbing through the window.
And the best thing is, like, whenever I say Anne Orlando, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know the exact window that I'm talking about? Yep.
Others are standing by. They're following in suit.
It's pretty crazy.
What is going to go on inside that building is
Archer, yeah.
You know, it could be up to anybody's imagination.
Oh, my God.
What danger they may face on the other side, nobody knows. What we do know is that any students that end up getting arrested there probably are not going to be punished in New York. An extraordinarily dangerous situation. Yep. And my last question, Mr. Speaker, where is the president of our country tonight? Where is he? He's in
Where's the precedent? Somebody says judge this to be predictable and lay blame. This could have been prevented. The university stepped in early is kind of a take. No, I think that's the case. And it's like, and I feel like a lot of times like protests like this escalate because they're allowed to escalate. So it doesn't really happen all at once. Usually it starts off as being pretty reasonable and then it gets worse and worse and worse if people allow it to get worse. And that's why I think that they're responsible. Of course, the protesters are ultimately responsible, but it's the university that really makes the decision.
As usual, Sean, he's afraid to speak to the issue. We announced today a whole of the House initiative.
I also think that I think Biden is afraid to talk about it. I think so. I think that he knows that, you know, like his position and like the official Democrat position is alienating to young voters. And he doesn't want to lose in the election. I think that's what's happening. Because, like, there's very clearly a massive disconnect between, like, you know, old school Democrat voters and, like, young voters that are, like, free Palestine. It's huge. And so I think that's the reason why he's not talking about it. He could lose just from this. You know what? You're probably right. Because there are definitely going to be a lot of young people that, I mean, because the election isn't really that far away. It's in like, what, November or some shit? So, like, if it's really not that far away, I feel like, yeah, I feel like this is still going to be fresh in people's minds. It will be. November 6th? Maybe. Trump is going to use this as fuel? Of course. Yeah, and I think a lot of people will vote for Trump because, I mean... I think that whether or not it's true, I think a lot of people assume that if Trump was president, this probably wouldn't have happened. Because he would have sent in the National Guard or something.
We're going to use all of our
now, I could be wrong, but I bet that's
we are
what
going
they
to
think.
Investigate these universities. They're getting a lot of federal funding. They have very generous tax benefits as nonprofits. And they're allowing student visas from foreign students, I think, to be abused. I think we have a role to play. We're going to continue to do our job in the Congress, in the House. The House Republicans are on this like white on rice. And that's what the American people demand and deserve. This is out of control. It never had to happen. And we need officials with some backbone to stand up and say, what is wrong is wrong. And until they do that, we're going to have more of this mayhem all around the country, I'm afraid.
He's right, actually. I think he is. Oh, there we go. Here we go.
Well, that's exactly what we're told from NYPD sources. I just checked in with them right before this hit. They're telling me that they've cleared every protester out of Hamilton Hall and also cleared the protesters out of the Gaza Solidarity encampment. But they still left those tents there because that's the property now that Columbia will then have to remove. But I'm going to take you this way just a little bit so you can see. I mean, talking about, right, Sean, you said it right, 2 hours or less to move all of this out of here. Well, that's because look at the force they brought in. They had these officers on standby. They closed off this area for several blocks after the university demanded that those kids get out of Hamilton Hall. When the university couldn't do their job, the police had to do it for them. So this is still a live look here at what we're seeing on the Upper West Side at Columbia University. But as of right now, we can tell you that after the university's president called the...
You know what's really kind of surprising about this is all of the people that are getting arrested probably ruin their life. Like, you probably put like a -3 onto your life because like you think there's a very high chance you're going to get expelled, and if you get expelled that means you're going to have to join another school, and then it's going to be harder for you to get integrated into another school, then it's going to take longer for you to finish your degree, and you also have an arrest on your record. Like, this is like I've had I you know, you guys know this, right? I have a lot of friends that have not had you know, very clean histories, and if you get one of these on your record, you're fucked, man. You are like super, super, super fucked. I don't think people respect it enough. Yeah, you're cooked.
NYPD asking them to go in and clear out the encampment, clear out that hall. That's what they did. They did it in 2 hours or less. And we're waiting to get more information from the NYPD. They arrested dozens of protesters, I'm told. Don't have an exact
white.
number. They're
Yep.
going to book them down at that processing center with the NYPD at their headquarters and get hit with a variety of charges. Some of them might just be for trespassing because some of those kids were expelled or suspended, right, just the other day and came back onto campus. But
yeah, it's like, what are you going to do after you get expelled from school? Like, because you think about, like, what happens 2 days after this. You should meet some people at work here who make great money. So many companies hire felons now. I know that. But there's also a lot of companies that don't. And to say that being a felon or having a criminal record is not a negative impact on your job prospects is so dishonest. It's a debuff, man. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that are able to go past it. There are. There's a lot of them that are. But it's harder. It's definitely harder. It's a debuff.
Also damaged property. You saw it in that video. They smashed through those windows and damaged that property there. So they could be facing more serious charges.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Alexis McAdams, that if that is true, all true, in an hour
Is their first offense like one up to felony? No, probably not. For the majority of them, they won't.
Accomplish this operation.
But even just getting kicked out of school is huge.
And seems so successfully. Stay there. We'll get back.
Yeah, because like you think about it, like if you are a recruiter and you are hiring for a job, do you want to hire somebody who got expelled from their school because of this bullshit? Because I'll tell you, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't want a person like that because this person has no respect for any sense of order. They won't listen to what you say if they just disagree with you, and they won't do what they're supposed to do. Yeah, if I had to make a decision on this, I would definitely say no. Now, I'm sure other people might disagree, and hopefully those people can find jobs in those places. But personally, that's the way I feel about it. Companies do background checks? Yeah, they do. Absolutely not. Shows willful disregard for authority. No hiring manager wants that. Yeah, like it's like, and also like you're basically signing up for a problem. It's like you're opting into this problem. Like, what the hell? So yeah, there it is, guys. And they all got arrested or at least moved out. Full raid wipe. And that's what's going to happen every single time. Is that if they call in the police, this is going to happen every single time. And also, like, here's another factor. This is another big W for the police. Nobody died. Nobody got shot. This was a relatively peaceful dispersal. You know, it's like you never think about that because, like, you know, it's just that's supposed to be normal, right? But it's important to keep that in mind. Nobody got shot yet. That's right. It hasn't happened yet. That's pretty good. Yeah, small W, that's their fucking job. Yeah, but not really though, right? You dealing with violent people, shit can happen. It's easy for things like that to happen, and it didn't. I think it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. Dudes who got the raid together, good raid leaders, there are, man. Absolutely. This won't have permanent lasting effects on their life in any way whatsoever. You got to give it a rest with entering a speculation. So you think getting expelled from your school isn't going to have a negative effect on your life? I think it absolutely will. Yes, it will. Will it affect their life 30 years from now? For like a year, that's it? That's a lot. Like a 1 year debuff fucking up. Yeah, that's huge. Absolutely. What are you talking about? Yes, it's like you think it's not that long because it's not happening to you. But think about what happens if you're fucked for that much time. It's obviously be a snowball effect. It is. That's really bad. Yeah, and I'm not saying it's going to ruin their life completely. Maybe a couple of them if they do get a felony charge. But, I'll tell you that they're probably going to feel like it ruined their life. At least whenever, like 2 or 3 weeks from now, I bet that's exactly how they're going to feel. 100%, man. Yeah, a lot of protesters know they're good either way because of rich parents or whatever. I don't think that all of them know that. But, yeah, this has been a pretty popular topic. And this is what that is... This right here is this is the final result of this behavior. And it will be the final result every single time. The police will come in, they will arrest you, you will be removed, and life will go on as normal. So yeah, it's a Rip Bozo situation just waiting to happen. So don't stand up against genocide? Well, just don't stand up in front of the police in front of a building and not let other people go in the building. You can stand up against that, absolutely. But it doesn't give you the right to break the law and block property and, take something over. What do you mean? No, of course that doesn't. No, you don't. But you don't even believe that. No, of course not. How dare they say you're stopping genocide by not letting people go into one building inside of a university in New York City in America? How's this helping Palestine? I'm sorry, but I just really don't think it's going to do much. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it does the opposite. As people don't know the meaning of genocide? No, I don't think that they do either. But regardless of what that is or not, but give me 1 second, take a look at that. Somebody tells in chat, say, what's this here? So no protest? Well, I mean, again, if people can't understand how to not break the law, then the police will have to teach them what the difference is. That's it. If they can't learn, then they will learn. One way or another, they're going to learn. So they can do it ahead of time or after they go to jail. That's it. Such is life. Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure the police don't know the law. Well, they know it a lot better than the people that are breaking it. Terminally online indoctrinated freedom fighters? Oh, I don't think they're freedom fighters, okay? They're just fighters. They're complainers. Really disagree with the expulsion and felony charges? I don't. I think that that's what they should do. See, to me, in my opinion, like if I was Columbia or I was NYPD, what I would do is I would just randomly assign different people charges. And I would do that, and I would just not charge some people and then charge other people. And I think that if you do that, the reason why that's a good idea, and this is what I would do if I was Columbia, I would randomly expel some of them and just draw the names out of a hat. Because the reason why is that there's nothing that's scarier to people than unfairness. And if you demonstrate that you are committed to unfairness, people will never test you. People will never push your boundaries because they don't know where they are. And that's the best thing to do. Like YouTube does this, for example. It's unpredictability. And if they want to stop people from doing this, that's what they should do. Yeah, that's an L take. Oh, you can think it's it's a mean take, but it's not wrong. People are terrified of uncertainty. If you introduce uncertainty into something like this, people will stop doing it. It's extremely fast. Yeah, it's mean. Idiots with main character syndrome will happily play that lottery. No, they won't. They'll play the lottery until it happens a couple of times, and their friends get picked out. And after a couple of times, that'll be it. Guaranteed. I saw it happen. You're 100% right. Yeah. Either way, it's a 2 versus 0 versus Israel. Oh, I don't know about that. But bullshit's a W take. Well, I mean, again, I'm just explaining that's what would happen. Why do you think people show up to work on time? Not because they want to? Yeah, of course. Yeah, you do the crime, you do the time. You think the establishment's correct to use unfair punishment to crush protesters? I think that it's not really unfair punishment. It's realistically, you can't get rid of everybody. And so you don't want to make an example out of everyone because it probably would be too disruptive to do that. And it would be too stressful. And I think that the best thing to do is to make people not want to do something rather than stopping them from doing it. So if that makes sense, right? Because it's better to have people self-govern than to make people do something. And YouTube does this really well because YouTube doesn't really have... It's very hard to know what's against the rules on YouTube, right? Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes things are against the rules. Sometimes they're not against the rules. And that's why nobody pushes the rules. A lot of people don't push the rules because they don't know really what they are. Yeah, public square sentencing? Yeah, sure. Yeah, and it would work. It would immediately stop. Like Twitch? Well, Twitch doesn't. Twitch does it in the wrong way. Is it unfair punishment? Yeah, of course. Why should people follow a law they never agreed with or wrote? Just because the law is the law doesn't make it right? Look at history. Well, they don't have to. See, you don't have to follow the law. But if you don't follow the law, then you go to jail. So you're right. You don't have to follow the law. Like if you don't agree with the speed limit, you can go 80 miles down the school zone. But then you're going to get arrested. So it's not that you can't do it. You can do it, sure. But there's just a punishment for doing it. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Somebody's trying to gaslight you, you're right? Of course I am. I'd rather live in a world where laws aren't absolute, to be honest. No, you wouldn't. Let me, what do you mean by that? Yeah, what do you mean by that? Where laws aren't absolute. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, laws should be challenged. Like which one? Which current law? And by the way, if you're going to make the argument for like having weed or something like that, I agree with you. Then I think it should be challenged. Yeah, abortion? I agree with you. So why don't you just vote against it? Because that's the way that laws are challenged. You elect a representative that will represent you in the way that you want, and then you challenge that law through the representative. That's the way the government works. That's right. You have to vote. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with, by the way. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's that. Yeah, or go to court. Yeah, you don't get to, listen, like, whenever you're not happy with the way things turn out, you don't just get to flip the board over and say, oh, I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm going to do whatever I want. That's not the way the world works. And these kids are learning that firsthand. You know what's happening in America compared to some other countries, like watching TV? Well, I mean, a lot of countries have problems too. Yeah, man, it's just not the way it works, man. I think it should appeal somewhere in Africa where law is not absolute. Yeah, places where law isn't absolute. That's a scary place. Do you think Israel is right in attacking Palestine the way it is? No, not really. I mean, I think Israel's fucked up, but I mean, it's not my problem. I don't really give a shit about it that much. I mean, I do in a way, but like, I don't care enough to like go and, you know, like, I don't want to send troops over there. I don't want to send money over there. Like, I have an opinion about it, but like, that's about it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Your taxes go there? Yeah, I have an opinion about that. You're already sending money, that's why you should care? I do, and next time that I have a chance to vote against it, I will. That's how it works. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. No, you won't? I vote pretty regularly. Sure. I mean, if it's something that I believe in, of course I would vote for it. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, we can move on. You never have a chance to vote against it because both parties support the genocide? Well, if enough people don't like it, they can make a third party. But they don't, because enough people don't really care. That's the truth. It's too logical, though? Yes, that's really the truth. They don't really give a shit. They care. They care. They definitely care. But the moment that caring causes them discomfort, the caring percentage goes from like 90% to like 3%. And that's why nobody votes third party. Harsh but true? Yeah, that's just how it is. Most people don't really give a shit about this. It's important to keep that in mind. The third parties don't have the funds? Yeah, why don't they have the funds? It's because they're not being supported. That's the reason. Some protests happen in other countries. They're freedom fighters fighting against evil regimes and dictatorships. Whenever the same happens in democracies, they're terrorists. Yeah, that's a lot in the case. Yeah, if you're not able to be represented by your government and you don't have a right to vote, then yeah, that's the only way you can protest, and that's the only way you can change things. But the truth is that, you know, where we live, we do have the right to vote, and we can change policy. And anybody who thinks that's not true needs to go to China or Russia or North Korea and then learn what that really means. Anyway, we can move on.